Why, hello there. You've caught me just as I'm finishing off the milking. I've got the very last of the cows in the milking shed there now, and I'm just going to hose down the yard. So bear with me for a moment while I hose down the yard. Then I'll show you a wee bit of what I do each morning, part of my morning daily routine on the dairy farm here. I'm not going to show you the whole thing because it'll take too long and the video would be way too long and no one will ever watch it. But I'll show you part of it at least. Now this hose I'm using is quite good. First of all, there is an American version of the same mod, so you can have an American style hose handle if you want, but you place the taps anywhere you want. The hose itself is just you engage it using the mouse wheel and then using the button to make the water spray, but so it's just like a chainsaw in that respect, but the hose itself isn't actually connected to the tap, but for realism's sake you put down some of these taps all over your farm, here and there, wherever you're going to want to be using the hose, so it looks more real. So now, unfortunately, I can't actually visually take those cows out of the milking shed because they're permanently in there. One of the downsides of this particular milking shed, I suppose, which I've had to make myself. I did notice on the mod hub the other day, and under mods and testing, there was a round milking shed, and it wouldn't be ideal for this farm, so I prefer a herringbone shed. I will check it out because I would like a milking shed where I can actually visually put the cows that are currently in this walking cane here out of the cane into the shed, and then take them out again when I come back. That's actually one of the two reasons that this will probably be one of the last videos, if not the very last video you see of this particular dairy farm. I'm going to redo my dairy farm completely. I'm rebuilding it. The two reasons for that are, one, this milking shed mod, which I assume was going to be resubmitted for testing. It's disappeared from that list of mods being tested now, so I assume it failed, but I also guess that it'll be back before very long. And the other reason is because of the new expandable pastures mod. So at the moment, if I zoom back like this, you can see a big rectangle in the middle of this paddock where the grass is slightly shorter than it is around the edges. So the pasture mod I've got at the moment, the cows can only walk within that rectangle area. They can't walk anywhere else. The new expandable pastures mod, you put down the troughs over there, just as you would normally, and then you can actually make up the shape of the paddock that those troughs relate to, so you can make it go right to all the very edges of the paddock, behind it as well, and the cows will actually wander all over the entire paddock. Once I've got that mod down, it will mean that I need to increase the number of cows I have on my farm, because with the cows spread out more over the paddock, I'll need more per paddock. But that will also add to the realism, and it will help make me some more money if I've got approximately twice as many cows, I think, in each paddock. That's what I'm going to need. So that's got those cows done. So I'll show you a wee bit of my morning routine, and some of it you've already seen if you've watched my previous videos, but I'll just show you a wee bit of it anyway. I might even do a bit of jump cutting so you can get to see a bit more within a reasonable length video still. Now, when I park my trike in the shed here, I mentioned in one of my other videos that I've got this park vehicle mod that I use, and what that does is when you unlock a vehicle you can tab to it, and when it's locked you can't. And I'll just say that when I park my trike here, I always leave it unlocked, and the reason why is it means I've always got a vehicle in the yard here that I can tab back to. So if I'm miles away from the yard and I need to tab back to the yard for some reason, I can just tab to that vehicle. But everything else I only unlock them as I need to use them. So at the moment, just next to the fuel gauge there, you can see a little red circle around those two white dots, and when I press left Control T, the red circle disappears, and that means that this vehicle is now unlocked. With the red circle there, it was locked. Okay, so now we're going to clean out the calves. Okay, let's grab a bucket for that. Now, at the moment I use that walking cane mod that's on the back of the trike. A friend of mine has helped me make an invisible cattle trailer. In fact, he's done 99% of the work on it. So I can tow that behind a vehicle, and you'll be able to see the cows, but not the trailer that they're actually in. So it looks like they're walking, following the trike. And I plan to use that one to move the cows from paddock to paddock, or from paddock to the milking shed, but it still needs a bit more work because at the moment you can only tow it behind a tractor. The trike hasn't got enough power to pull it when it's full, and the tow bar of it tends to dig into the dirt because the suspension on the trailer goes down too much with the weight of the cows. So I need to try and work out some way to make the cows weightless when they're in the trailer, so that I can pull them behind my little trike there. But so in the meantime I'm just using that cane mod. Now the only animals that actually leave crap behind are my calves in the calving barn here and the calves in the igloos. None of the ones in the paddocks do, which is actually I think realistic, because cows in the paddock you wouldn't be going around cleaning up after, I'm sure, because the poo that they drop would just become would just soak into the dirt and help fertilise the grass. But we do have to clean out the calf shed there, and also the calf igloos. Now, one of my viewers commented on the baby chickens that were wandering around, which unfortunately you won't see any in this video because they got older and I sold them. And I won't have any more baby chickens until next month now, when the chickens that are currently pregnant give birth again. But what I would like to say about that is it's part of a mod called the Enhanced Animal mod, and it's not just the chickens, but it's all animals that there's now visual babies of them as well. So you can see here that the calf pens, just as in the calf barn, these are calves much smaller than the full-size cows, and it's the same with the sheep, same with the goats. All of the animals have babies that you can actually visually look like babies, and not only that, but it also means that whether you have male or female offspring, it's about a 50-50 now. So your female cows don't just give birth to female calves, and so on, and your female chickens don't just give birth to female chickens anymore, but it's actually random, and as I said, it's 50-50 male and female, give or take, random. So again, it adds to the realism a wee bit. Now, yes, I know the shovel carries way too much crap, but I got sick and tired of one that carried so little that it took me forever to clean out those calf pens, which is why I'm using this very unrealistic one instead. I prefer this big one where, oh, what's happened there? I dropped my shovel. Hang on. Now it's spilling everything everywhere. Come on. Okay. Oh. Don't know where that disappeared to. Never mind. We can find that again later. I'll reset it later and go and grab it again. Okay. So just clean up these calves now. The shovel of the tractor here won't go into the calf pens, which is why I have to use the hand shovel there to pick the stuff up, and then, oh come on, one slight problem here is if the bucket's too low it won't pick up the stuff on the ground. So if it's too high it won't pick up the stuff on the ground, and if it's too low then the tractor won't turn because there's too much weight on the bucket and not enough weight on the front wheels. So you've got to get it just right to be able to pick everything up with that. But I don't know, I like using a tractor with a bucket on the front instead of having a an additional vehicle like a front loader or something, because this is meant to be a very budget cheap family farm, so we can't afford to have too many vehicles. I simply can't afford to have some kind of a front loader just for moving bales around and moving buckets around, so it all goes on the front of a tractor. And I just dump it all here, and once that pile gets big enough then I could hire a truck and I move it all to the BGA and sell it, which doesn't make good financial sense because it costs me more to hire the truck than what I get for selling the crap. But there you go, it's all I can do, because I had a look around for manure sell point that had no visual thing, but just, you know, you place it somewhere and remember where you put it because there's no visual thing to it, and couldn't find one. And all the manure sell points I could find had a visual thing that wouldn't have suited the farm there, so to go with that. Okay. So dump that bucket. Yeah. And next job is to, oh actually that's probably a bit close to that bale trailer. So let's try it again. Oh. And again, the cognitive bucket being a bit low, so I can't turn the tractor. Never mind. Here we go. Okay. Now the next job is to feed the chickens. Yeah, I said no baby chickens at the moment, I'm sorry, because I've sold them all once they got a bit bigger. But next month I'll have more, because all my chickens that I've got at the moment are all pregnant. Okay. So, bring this down. And no, I don't know why I always close that gate, because obviously the chickens go through the fence, or fly over the fence or what have you. So there's no real reason. Oh, how for those chickens now. Let's have a look. You can see the pregnancy there. 292. Oh yeah, that's full enough. Won't give them any more now. It's close enough to full. Just close that gate again. Yes, I don't know why I keep this gate closed, except I do like it being closed, so that's why. Okay. And having finished feeding the chickens, it's now time to feed the cows. So just dump this back here. Time to go and grab the bale fork again that I dropped off it. I do have two tractors with front loader arms, so I have been wondering whether I should have one permanently set up with bale prongs like this, and the other one that I swap between the bucket and the bag lifter. In reality, I wouldn't have to even have a bag lifter in that, so far that you can lift the bags up using the bale spikes, but I prefer to use a bag lifter, so I use it. Okay. Yeah. Unlock that tractor at the same time so that I can tab to it. So you see at the moment I have my two tractors here that I'm using it currently for the current job unlocked, plus the trike unlocked, so if the tractor's in the yard I can still tab back to the yard should I need to. Yeah. I'm just going to check what the straw situation is in my calf barn, so I forgot to check on that. So calf barn here, straw 99,656. Yeah, no, that's fine. So I don't need to add straw here at the moment. But if I did need to, then you can see the straw blower behind this trailer. Yeah. Okay. I do quite like this yard. It is quite tight and things, and I do like a nice tight yard, but when I redo this farm to have the hopefully new milking shed and definitely the new cow paddocks, I'm going to actually make the yard a bit tighter. I downloaded a pack that's got a lot of placeable things like big piles of gravel and skip bins and bits of old machinery and the likes that you can leave lying around, and I'm going to add a lot of that to my new yard when I redo this farm, which will make it a lot tighter. Funnily enough, one of my friends, Atomic 67, would hate that. He hated having crap lying about the farm, but to me I kind of like it. One, I like a tight yard as I said, and two, I quite like to me it looks more realistic when it's littered and crap all over the place and things. I mean, I do understand where it's coming from. I don't like actual rubbish just lying everywhere, unless it's an old tractor that's wrecked, or an old rusty tractor, or maybe an old car wreck or something like that. I'm quite happy to have something like that in my yard, but not actual rubbish per se. Okay. So this is the calves that now been fed, and this is the bulls being fed now as well. Okay. Now I've just got 4 paddocks of cows to feed, and then we're done. And each one will take almost a whole trailer full of TMR. Now at the moment the cows are still producing milk, so they're being fed TMR. I normally drop them down to just feeding them as something a lot cheaper and easier for the few months of each year they're not producing any milk. Using the enhanced animal mod, by the way, the cows won't produce any milk till after they've calved for the first time. So that's another interesting feature of it. That means that when you start again, if you're doing a dairy farm, you've got quite a number of months, at least 10 months before you go and get your first lot of milk you can sell. So you've got to have enough money or enough of an overdraft to keep you going for the first 10 months with no income. Although you can hopefully get some silage bales together to sell, or some hay bales. The silage bales are worth more. It also takes a lot longer for them to actually rot into silage from just grass, so sometimes it's easier to do the hay bales if you need money urgently. Okay. Now when I get down to the yard, I must point out as well that one of my tractors has changed since I did the farm tour. This tractor's the same. This is the 7610 Generation 2. You may recall my other tractor was a Gen 3 7810. Now, the reason I got rid of that is because this tractor had an update. And one of the things that was updated on this tractor when they did the update was that they included IC. I love IC. It means you can have the windows open, you can have the sunroof open, and things like that. But I didn't have any tractors that used IC before, so when this one updated with an option for IC, I updated it. But my other tractor didn't have an option for IC, and so I decided to upgrade the Gen 3 7810 to a 40 series tractor instead, because that one also has IC, so hence you can see windows open, sunroof open, etc. Now this one doesn't actually have IC, but that back window is mouse operated. Now technically that 40 series tractor shouldn't belong on my farm, because my farm is set in the 80s, the mid to late 80s, and I'm well aware the 40 series tractor wasn't released until 1991. And to that I say, I don't care. I love that tractor. It's got IC, which I wanted, so I'm having it anyway regardless. And if it's not quite right, then I don't care. And since I'm the one paying this farm, really, I'm the only one that should matter to. Okay, open that gate up. I'm actually crossing the road here to get into this field. I'll just track as part of the road system. And then come out here. I started using this barn to store my silage bales in, because I got sick and tired of the bale dynamics where my piles of bales would implode from time to time. So I started storing all my silage bales in this one instead. Let's see. That's not so well done. Never mind, not too late. I'll just stick this one on top and grab the bottom one. Come on. The way I make up my TMR, because I've only got a small TMR mixer, because my biggest tractor is only 100 horsepower, so I can't have a bigger mixing trailer. So I do 2 parts silage bales, 1 part hay bale, and no straw, and that does make TMR. This map used to have a compulsory straw option to the TMR, so I did 1.5 silage, 1 straw, and 1 hay and half straw, but now I just do 2 and 1. Makes it easier. So these bales in this shed, they do sometimes implode because they're just manually stacked, but there's not too many of them, so I can just redo them when I have to, restack them. It doesn't really matter. But I got sick and tired of the silage ones imploding all the time, so I always have a lot more silage on the go. I'll just check my stopwatch. So that's why I went off course. Just see how long this video was, and it's been 20 minutes, so it's okay, we can make it a wee bit longer. As I pull this tractor up this hill here, certainly gets a lot more grip on the dirt here than it does in the grass paddock for pulling the trailer up. You can see it really struggling on that grass hill going up to the top. Cow paddock up there in a minute. That's alright. So, yes, the cows need to be fed every day because they eat a tremendous amount on this map, so I can't just feed them every second day. So the cows get fed every day, the chickens get fed every day if they need topping up, straw levels every day, cleaning up the muck every day, and then with the rest of the day I can work on my other grass pastures, mowing them or fertilising them. Every 4th time I think is I have to lime them, so it never gets dull. There's always something to do on the farm. You can quite clearly see just then, you can see where the square that the cows can walk in finishes and the rest of the paddock begins. So just dump this out. Another advantage of being able to open the back window like this is you can actually see that box there that's got the buttons to operate the trailer in real life. Obviously in the 80s you didn't have things where you could operate the trailers from inside the cabin using buttons built into the tractor, so you had things like that instead. So you can see here at the moment we're in the part of the paddock where cows can roam, and you can quite clearly see there where the grass changes texture slightly to the part of the paddock where the grass where the cows can't roam. And the new expandable pastures mod, not only does it let me define what area I want the cows to be able to wander in, so they'll be able to wander around the whole farm, but it also doesn't change the texture of the paddock to whatever it was. So if I plough up the paddocks and then plant grass, because obviously the grass that's in the game is standard already when you first load up a map and it's got grass paddocks. That grass normally can't be fertilised. So, but if you plough up the paddocks and plant grass, then it goes through the same 2 fertilisation steps that a normal, that any other crop goes through. Needing lime just like any other crop, needing weeding just like any other crop. So, by doing it that way, what it means is I won't have dedicated cow paddocks and dedicated mowing paddocks for silage bales anymore. What I'll have instead is just a bunch of paddocks, and all of the paddocks can have cows put in them. I'll have feeding troughs in every single paddock, but when they're not being used to put stock in, then I will use them for mowing and baling instead. And when and as I move the cows around different paddocks, as I imagine the grass will get shorter, then the paddocks I mow will also change, which will be good, because at the moment it's the same 6 paddocks I mow over and over and over again, and I never get to mow these other ones here, even though I own them, because they've always got stock in them or potentially got stock in them. It does mean that every single paddock on my farm will have a set of feed troughs in them, and when I'm mowing that paddock I'll need to mow around the feed troughs, but that's probably quite realistic as well, so I'm quite happy with that. It doesn't worry me in the slightest. Okay. Oh, so I was going to have to back up, get a bit of a run up there. Now this is the hill that I mentioned these tractors physically cannot pull the TMR trailer up this hill in the winter if it's snowing, which is a good reason to rotate the paddocks around a bit, because these paddocks that we're in at the moment, this one and the one that we're heading towards, I use as summertime paddocks only. And it's the 1st of September now. I'm doing 2-day months at the moment, so either in October or the very beginning of November I will move the cows out of these paddocks and down to the lower paddocks. So I also have troughs in further down. So yes, probably October we'll move them down to the summer paddocks out of these winter ones. Now, I mentioned I was going to rebuild my whole farm all over again to use these new expandable pastures, and also to hopefully put the new milking shed in once it comes out, if it looks any good to me. One of the reasons I could just delete these pastures, sell them, and then put in the new ones, but I'm hoping that the way the troughs here work, it'll need a bit less flat area around, so I won't have these banks and things around the troughs that I have at the moment. And that's why I'm choosing to start the whole game again, to start the whole map again, rather than just selling these fields and then buying the expandable pastures to put in there. Again, you can see quite clearly there the grass change between the field that cow can wander in and the field that it can't. When I did consider, I thought, if I'm starting a whole map again, starting again from scratch, do I want to change maps? And there's 3 other maps I did consider. I thought Moss Farm, which has just come out, but it's fairly new, and I imagine there'll be an awful lot of people working on Moss Farm, so I thought, yeah, I don't really feel like working on that one just yet, but maybe in the future I might. There's Fairhead Farm, and I've already got the updated version of Fairhead, so I could do that one now. I sort of, I undernarred and thought, no, probably not Fairhead. And there's also Eggerley Farm. I've got that one at the moment as well. The problem with Eggerley is it's still in beta form, and there are a few issues with it, which will get ironed out by the time it actually reaches proper release for everybody, which will be great. And I quite possibly will upgrade from this map to Eggerley, or at least start a second farm on Eggerley once the final version of that one is released. But yeah, just being beta form kind of put me off doing too much on it at the moment, so I'm probably going to use this exact same map again for my new dairy farm that I'm going to build. And in fact, because I really like the way I've got this farm set out, I'll probably keep it with the same setup pretty much, except for the way I do my paddocks will change. Otherwise the actual layout of the farm will be the same as it is now, which unfortunately takes about 10 hours to get everything the way I want it then, because there's lots of new gates and sheds and things to put in which aren't already on it, changing sheds over and the like. But hey, I actually enjoy making the farms almost as much as I enjoy working on them, so I'm not really put off by that. And that is the reason that I've never ever bothered with saving backups of my farms on a separate device, just in case I somehow get hacked or something, because to be perfectly honest, I'm quite happy to start again any time. So if the worst came to the worst and I had to restart any stage, it's really not the end of the world as far as I'm concerned. So I'll leave you here now though, because you've seen how I feed the cows, and all I'll be doing is feeding all the rest of the paddocks, and you've seen the rest of my morning routine. So see you all again later. Bye.